I gotta be honest, it was really hard finding a topic of discussion for today's video, but then something came to me that was actually a really good idea, and it's something I've also wanted to talk about for a long time. So I figured, oh, I can talk about this today. So I actually got a good idea today. Basically, I want to talk about the concept of growing up and not letting that mean you give up the things that you really enjoy or that make you happy that you used to do when you were younger. I feel like there's a big, stigma around people that are forcing themselves to grow up in the societal way. And granted, it's not as big of a thing as it was, a couple generations ago, but I think it's still a message that rings true and that some people may just need to hear. Um, so I'm 25, and I'm definitely at that age where, you'll hear a lot of people saying, like, you still do that thing or you still like that thing. It's like, yes, I do. Um, One thing I used to be told a lot when I was younger, uh, pretty much from my dad, because he's into sports and he loves, watching, I guess, what you would think someone that is approaching 50 would watch, right? And essentially, he would tell me a lot, like, because I would watch cartoons and I love cartoons, right? And he would tell me a lot, oh, one day you're gonna grow up out of that. You're not gonna be watching cartoons. I still watch cartoons. And so that never really changed. But I don't think he really grasped my passion for animation and stuff like that. So that was a thing, right? But that's beside the point. What I want to talk about is not giving up on those things because what happened is there's this book series I used to read a lot when I was younger, and it's called Amulet. Got the whole set right here. I haven't read these books since I was in middle school, and I guess the story behind how I found out about these books is when you're a kid, you don't read the back of the book, right? You don't read this whole wall of text trying to know what the book is about. Like, oh, it's about this. Oh, I'll get this one. No, I just saw it had cool art and it had like this fox character or whatever it was. I was like, this is cool. I wanna read. And and I opened the book and there's color and pictures. I was like, I'll gladly read this. So that's how I found out about the books. Had no idea what it was. Just picked them up and I was like, this is looking interesting. And then I started reading them. And because I was young and you could only get these books at the Scholastic Book Fair, I don't know how many people relate to that, but I assume if you grew up in the U.S. and you went to a public school, you probably know what those are. But essentially because of that and I didn't have much money, I couldn't really just go get these willy-nilly. So I only had the two books and I would reread them on loop because that's what you did when you were younger. You just worked with what you had and you just kept rereading or replaying the game or watching the movie, whatever it is. So I remember fondly really enjoying reading these books. And it wasn't until one day when I was perusing Amazon and I saw they had the whole set on sale and I was like, oh, I want that. Yes, let's get it. So then I got it, started reading, and I quickly realized I was like, oh, these are not very good. And while that was the experience, and keep in mind, this is not cheap. While that was the experience, these are still books I would proudly have on the shelf. Reason being is because it means something, Even though these books aren't particularly that great, it's like, well, I remember fondly the memories of, being young and having the book in my hand, reading it at that age, and just the feelings I would get in that moment. And I think that's important. I think, you know, simple things like that will just make you happier as a person. I genuinely believe that. Whether it be, having art, figures, uh, posters, whatever it is on your walls in your room, like I think that actually just makes you a happier person. I genuinely believe that. Um, One example is one of my friends, for a gift, he got me this little Tifa figure right here. And for those of you who don't know, Final Fantasy VII is my favorite video game of all time. I can probably make a whole nother video on that. I really want to do that at some point. But I have this Tifa figure on my desk at all times, and I always often look at it, and then I'm just like, yeah, That's nice. And there's a lot of little things like that. Granted, because of the living space I'm in right now, I don't have all my stuff hung up on the wall or on shelves like I did before. But I think just having that around and just being able to glance at it and look at it and just be reminded of like whether it be the motions you felt while consuming that thing or just the reminder of the time when you watched it and how things were different. I think a lot of that is really cool. Um, so I end up collecting things. I collect a lot of things. You can't really see them here because, like I said, I don't really have space for them. But there's a lot of things in that closet, and I got a lot of stuff in storage that I would gladly love to have out, but I just can't right now, realistically. Just because I like that thing, so I want to have it near me, or I just like being reminded of it every now and then. And I think that's important. It doesn't have to be important to anyone else. Like, who cares what other people think? You know, if you like it, you like it, and I think that is important. So, point of the video is don't let people get you down on the things that you used to like, whether that be toys, uh, anime, cartoons, animated movies, books, comics, whatever it is that you like. Don't let other people deter you from expressing that you like it, right? So, to end the video off, we're gonna let the boys play us out. You see that? It's so cool. Some people will look at that and they'll be like, that is the nerdiest shit I've ever seen. But you know what? Fuck those people. See you tomorrow.